Hello and welcome to number 2 video of my new project here, my street race car here that I'm building with this mid-engine V10 and this body here, the Volvo 244, and have started with a chassis. The chassis will be built of all these tubes. First is to get some equipment to build this car. I have actually never built a chassis car before, so I bought these. So this is actually for my CNC, a coming CNC machine to cut some stock, but this one is great for cutting the tubes as well. And also need a tube notcher, so put this one in here and made a bracket here for the tubes. We'll need to make this a little bit stronger, but this one works good to make some tube notches, I think so. Also, I'm doing some welding here, testing. I need to send some samples for approval before I get approved to weld my own chassis. This one is going to have an SFI 25.2 tag, so yeah, need to have that to be running a little bit faster. Also here you can see one kind of chassis jig. It's actually not a chassis jig, it's an bench where you straighten out crashed cars. And yeah, it's a little bit old, a little bit rusty, but I think this one is really heavy duty and it's straight, so it's a good thing to build the chassis on, I think. Also some wheels, so I can move it a little bit around here in the shop and put the body on top of it as well. Also you get a little bit better working position when it's coming up from the floor a bit. So I'm not exactly sure how to build an chassis like this, but yeah, trying out and have a bit help from some friends as well. But I have no help of a real chassis builder, so yeah, we are all newbies on this one. But I hope this will work good. I have started with putting this rear clip of the car bolted on here to this frame here, so this one is straight and will be stable, and putting these inner frame rails. It will be pretty wide between these because I'm gonna put the front suspension to these ones, and I have these straight all the way. So started out making some brackets here. Now I will cut a bit in the aluminum here as well. There is some progress here. Will be a lot of grinding, welding and measurements to get this straight here. So we'll see if we can build a car out of this. Now it's a bit interesting. We're gonna see how the driver compartment, how big it's gonna be. And to see that, we need to put the chassis on, I think, here. So I'm gonna see if it could fit over here. Made some tubes here that holding the inner frame rails. So should we pull it back? Also need to figure out how to make some mounts between this Ducal R8 steel tubes and the aluminium frame back here. But I think we're gonna lower it down and see. I think we maybe need to cut out some here. Interference?
Yes.
Yes, we need to cut some. I think, oh, yeah. This aluminium structure is a little bit too wide in some places here, so I will cut this one here and a couple of places here.
Testing out the seating position here to get the tubes correctly, but yeah, I think this will be good.
There have been some progress with the floor of the chassis, and yeah, I think it's most of the floor is done. At least the required tubes needed. Will be some more for seats, for example, and maybe some other brackets for the front differential there as well. And by the way, one cool thing is why I chose the Volvo 240 is that the wheelbase of a Volvo 240 and, for example, an Audi R8 is 1 millimeter of difference. It's 2650 and 2649 millimeters, so it's almost identical. The bad thing is that the track width is a bit different. The Volvo one and Lamborghini Huracan is 200 millimeters wider, so this car will be wider than the Volvo, so it will be wider fenders here. Next step here, I think, is to make the main hope here, and that one I think I'm gonna lean it 10 degrees backwards, so it will be a bit backward there. And yeah, you can see also I have done some starting with some brackets holding this aluminum together with a Ducal R8, and also here it's a bit tight for the drive shaft in the front. So there will be the main hope going up, and I need to have between my helmet at least 1 inch. So I will try to do it as low as possible, the roll cage there, so hopefully I can bring the chassis down a bit. Right now it's standing here on the rockers, and yeah, hopefully I can cut a bit of them and make it lower. We'll see, to save weight and to make it a little bit more aerodynamic. Maybe will not be that good looking if cutting off some of these rockers, but I don't know. This one is not going to be a show car. When building a chassis like this, you need to have these forward bars. It will also be the windshield bar forward of your feet. Also the bar coming from the roof need to be forward of your most forward part of your feet. So you have to do it a little bit different than many, like 240 roll cages. Usually they go down just here, but then your feet will be forward of it. And because I do not have any crash structure from the original car, I need to have these tubes in forward here. But I think this is gonna be a good seating position, and it will be a good room for your feet. But maybe I need to cut out here to make this windshield beam a little bit forward and low there. The tubes here is also spot welded, so I will need to do the complete welding of the chassis in the future. I'm here at Vattenpolering Vrestorp and picking up some pieces for my build here, and yeah, looks like brand new pieces, but these are actually a couple of years old and was very corroded, rusty before, and now they're looking like brand new. So these are, I think, water polished, water honed here, aqua blast. So this will be very nice to install on the car here. They have a couple of different machines here, different blasting machines here. Some old ones that is renovated, and vacuum blast, this one. I think this has been in a mine here in Sweden. Some different sizes. But I think this is the one that makes the nicest finish here. It is using water and small glass beads. Beads, they are called, these ones that are coming out of this nozzle here together with the water, with high pressure. Yeah, beautiful, will be nice. Here goes the sensor for the wheel speed. And you can see that it's some different dimension of tubes in this chassis. And I have some different dimensions here of the tube I bought. And I want to make it as lightweight as possible. So you can actually build your whole chassis in 1/5/8. It's like 41.3 millimeter tubes. If we check here a little bit of the specifications, what I'm building this car for, it's the SFI 25.2D specification. And yeah, in this one it's a lot of text, some material list and some pictures with different colors here. The colors represent different dimensions of tubes, and it's actually 7 different tubes for building a car like this, if you want to make it as lightweight as possible. but I think I have 6 different, and it's also like 1 inch here. It's for example 2 different thicknesses of the tubes. And there's also some different variants if you want to build it. It's many different variants actually, 4 main variants, and I'm building after this one, figure A. Then your head needs to be, or your helmet needs to be in forward of the main hoop. If we check, for example, the B here, head is a little bit aft of, and then even further back. And yeah, this one, your head, I think it's almost completely aft of main hoop there, the funny car cage that will be here. Also, you can see in the floor you can do different configurations on this one. So you have some different pictures and variants. I'm actually also building it like this. Usually these ones 2A, they do not need to be 1/5/8, but if you make this rear member number 1 in 3 pieces that I have done, you need to make these ones as well in 1/5/8. And the reason I did it like this, usually number 1 it's a straight one, and then you can make 2 A's in 1.5 inch, but I opted to make them long ones. This one inner frame rails, because I'm not going to have an upper frame rail or dual frame rail, I think they call it, and I will only use these ones. And I was thinking I have them going out here and on this side. I was thinking to put maybe like fuel lines in these ones, maybe some wiring and stuff. So I do not want to have fuel inside the car, fuel lines, and it will be no room actually under the car, because I plan to make it completely flat under the car. So some fuel lines inside the tube here, and maybe take it out somewhere here in the front to the fuel cell that will be in the front here. And when building this, it's pretty good that all the tubes here have numbers. So if we check number 1, for example, that we have here, that we started with, it's in this material list, we have all of the tubes. It's a second page as well, so it's many tubes. Rear cross member, and here we have the dimension of it, and it also says C note number V6. And then we check in the papers with the notes, and yeah, we have to read the number 6 here and see that if we can do something different, or so we compile with the rules. It's pretty good laid out, these specifications. There are some places that it's a little bit tricky to know how to do, but trying to get some help from some guys that have been chassis before. Also, I can talk a bit about the material that I'm using, and it's the Docol R8 from SSAB here in Sweden. So this is Swedish made tubes, and they are really good. These ones feel really lightweight compared to normal tubes for roll cages. The normal material to build chassis of is chromoly, 4130 chromoly, and yeah, these ones are in the same dimensions as chromoly, and they are very strong, these ones, so they are actually thinner than mild steels ones. And when building a chassis like this one that is approved to go below 750, mild steel is not allowed. It has to be chromoly or this Docol R8. But some advantages about these Docol R8 instead of chromoly is that these ones are completely, the thickness is much better all around. I think less than 1% difference anywhere here. I think the chromoly can be 10% different in thickness from one side to one. So some chassis with chromoly is not that good. If you're unlucky, how do you lay out the tubes? So there can yeah, be some strange flex maybe in the chassis. Also, these ones have a higher tensile strength and yield strength rather than chromoly. When welding chromoly, it's getting really hard next to the welds, so it could be possible to crack. This one is not getting harder, it's actually getting a little bit, I think, softer, but that's usually not the problem. But you have to be careful when welding, not putting in too much heat into the tubes. And this Docol R8, it's material that has been around for many years in like steel for crash structure in normal cars, but this making these like tubes is not, now it is a couple of years, but not as long as this chromoly 4130 that is from Second World War, when they used that one. And one thing about these ones is that these are not seamless. There is a weld on these ones, so they are actually made from one sheet, and that's why they can make them so exactly thickness all around. But it is welded. But even though it is welded, these ones are really good, and I think better than a chromoly. And more people starting using these ones, and getting even in US, even though these are made in Sweden, in Borlänge, not so far away from here where I live. And more and more guys in US are using these ones in chassis for drag racing and for different, I thought it was corrosion, but it's just dirt. Some different kind of cars there. Also have done some different practice welds here to send in for approval. So yeah, it's a little bit tricky to make it really nice, I think. It is not that hard to weld it, but to get an show finish on the welds, it's not that easy, at least for me. Trying out some different settings here on the ESAB, and I'm going with the pulse settings there. I think that is a good one to make it not make too much heat into the tubes there. Also had been cutting out and putting in a bit of reinforcement. This one will not be here in the end here. Maybe this is it for this episode, and if you have any input ideas, please let me know. And yeah, by the way, thank you so much for all of the comments about the name of this car. What should I name this car? I don't know really, hard to decide. I think Rörbritt, someone said, could be cool. This is called Rör in Swedish, and Britt is an old lady name. Rörbritt, could it be something? I don't know. Maybe something better with the engine or something, but we'll see. I'm still thinking about it. Okay, thank you for watching. Bye bye.